I want to welcome everybody to today's NPUG Global Web and Learn. Today we'll be talking about some tips and tricks and best practices for using Microsoft Project. We're glad to have Ira Brown back with us today to talk about some tips and tricks.
Let me actually review the agenda. We're going to cover an indicator that I've implemented in a number of my clients, and I think you'll find it useful. It's an indicator that will draw to your attention any task that is in need of being updated. So here's the concept. You're in a project, and there's a task in your project that should have started by today. So today's May 17th. There's a task in my project that should have started by today. Maybe it was scheduled to start yesterday or last week, but it didn't yet start. So something needs to be updated on that task. It either did start, in which case I need to actually show that in Microsoft Project, or perhaps it's running late, in which case I need to move the start date to a future period. But as it stands right now, the information associated with that task is not correct, and it is in need of being updated. Similarly, I may have a task that should have finished by today, but it's still not finished. How do I know it's not finished? Well, I'm not seeing 100% complete on that task. Now, it's possible that task really is finished, but I just haven't updated my project. So in either case, that red flag tells me I either need to update my project to say it is done, or I need to put in the date in which the project is, or that task is now targeted for completion. But when we're finished updating our project, we should not see any red flags. If you see a red flag, it means that task still is in need of an update. So again, that's another technique to draw your attention to those tasks that need some attention and need to be updated. And once you update them, then you know that you're good to go. So how do we go about creating that kind of indicator? So what we're going to do, let me go back to Microsoft Project. And this time we're going to create a red flag indicator. So I'm going to insert a column here. And I'm going to pick the field called flag 1. Okay, so that's going to be the container for our special formula here to determine whether a task needs to be updated or not. And by the way, this also could be done in a project server environment by just creating a custom flag field. I'm going to right mouse click on this, select custom fields, and let's give it a more meaningful name. And I'll call it something like update needed. And I think I probably have that in there already, so I'll just call it update required. All right, that worked just fine. And now we get to put our formula in there. So this time we're going to use a similar formula to the switch function, but it's going to be the if function, the IIF function. And let me just paste it on in this time, and I'll walk you through it. So this is really just another technique for doing some conditional logic. So it's really saying if, special version of the word if, IIF, if the date, meaning today, so this date, left paren, right paren, that actually evaluates to the current date. So if the current date is greater than the field called start and percent complete is equal to 0. So in that situation, the task really should have started, but there's no indication in Microsoft Project that it has started because the percent complete is 0. So under that condition, we want to show a red flag. Or if the finish date, or let's say it differently, if today's date is greater than the finish and percent complete does not equal 100%. So under that condition, the task should have finished maybe yesterday or the week before, but it's still not showing 100%. Therefore, it's not yet done. Or, again, it may be done, but we just haven't updated our plan. So the plan is in need of being updated. So if either of those conditions are met, we're going to set this flag field to true. And again, in the formula, we use the word true, but in actual Microsoft Project, we see that as a yes. Otherwise, we'll set the flag field to false or no. So let me go ahead and click OK here. Again, there's that same warning about existing data. We'll just click OK. And this time, let's just go right to the graphical indicators without testing this. So I'll go ahead and click graphical indicators. So the logic is quite simply, if this field equals yes, then we want to show a red flag. So there's my red flag indicator. And if it equals no, I'm not going to show any flag in this case. So I really only want to draw my attention to those tasks that are in need of being updated. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Click OK again. And there you see it's worked. So only those tasks that should have started but did not, or should have completed but did not. So let's insert the column here called %complete, just so we can see if this is working correctly. Okay, so here's our first red flag. This task should have started on May the 10th, but it has 0% complete. So therefore, red flag. Okay, this task should have finished by the 16th, which was yesterday, but the % complete is only 50%. Again, red flag. So looks like this is working exactly the way we want.